All right, welcome back here. It is 9:45. St. Patrick's Day is this weekend, and we want to help you make some traditional recipes. I'm joined with Jackie Medill with the Washington State Beef Commission. This morning, we're doing classic corned beef and cabbage, and also we're doing a beef stew. This is sort of a twist on beef stew.
Okay, so let's just talk about this stew for a hot minute, because it's amazing.
It is good.
So if you're not a corned beef person, which is kind of like the American way to celebrate a bit of an Irish holiday, we have some alternatives. So an Irish stew is traditionally just like literally meat, potatoes, root vegetables, toss it in a pot, let it simmer. This is great. This is a Guinness stew. It's super easy. I did it in my Instant Pot, Liz. I knew you would love that.
And I've done beef stew in Instant Pot, and it works really nicely.
It's so easy. It's so quick and easy. So on our website, I have the stovetop recipe. I'm going to add the notes from me running it on my Instant Pot last night. This is just great. You're going to use pre-cut or cut it up yourself, beef chuck, which is that big chunk of meat.
Yeah.
It's got all that connective tissue. I think a lot of people kind of steer away from it because they think it's fatty.
We get freaked out by it.
Yeah. The great part is when you cut it into pieces and you throw it in your Instant Pot, in your crock pot, in your braising pot, on the stovetop, all that connective tissue, all that fattiness melts away. You end up with just lean, tender, beautiful beef.
Well, yeah, during the break, you're like, oh, yeah, just, you can just cut it. You don't even need to cut it. Look at that. It just falls right apart. It's so good.
It's wonderful. It just braises and kind of crumbles apart. So this is a super simple liquid base. It's literally beef broth and a Guinness, or I like to use Irish Death because it's local, a stout beer, whatever your favorite stout beer is.
Is really great for cooking meat.
It adds a nice malty richness to this beef, and I just love it. Now, you can throw some small potatoes in there, like I did in this lovely dish. You can throw some small potatoes in, or you can buy even pre-made mashed potatoes. Make a bowl of mashed potatoes, skip the potatoes in the stew, and just drop the stew into a bowl of mashed potatoes. Yummo.
That is good.
Your breakfast is done.
I always end up doing these segments, and you just talk, and I just eat. It's so
perfect.
Good.
It's a match made in heaven.
It is. I love you.
So then when it comes to corned beef, and if you're going the traditional route, there's a lot of different ways that you can cook corned beef. You can do it in your crock pot, which I think is just, frankly, a no-brainer.
It's so easy.
You're literally just gonna pile veggies into the bottom of your crock pot. Cabbage, of course, is traditional. Maybe a chunk of onion. You're looking for some potatoes. You can cut up your carrots or just get those mini carrots,
I do that sometimes when I'm feeling super lazy,
Throw them in there. And then your corned beef. And I took this out of its store packaging because corned beef is brined. That's where the flavor comes from, and that bright red color. So it's pretty liquidy when you get it at the store. But yeah, you're gonna take it out of its package. This one, I put the seasoning packet on it in here, but there's usually an extra little seasoning pouch. If they have that, definitely put that into your crock pot as well.
How long did you let this sit for?
So this needs to go for about 6 to 8 hours on medium or low heat in your crock pot. And you're gonna want to, this is a little pro tip here, folks. This is the pretty side. Take the fatty side and put it up, facing the lid.
I always wonder which way to do that.
It just helps the fat kind of melt down through, keeps it extra moist, keeps it tender. I like to just add a beer. Again, we're going with the stout because
it is St. Patrick's Day.
Because St. Patrick's Day. You're just gonna add your beer in. You could do beef broth. You could do water, frankly. There's a ton of flavor in this beef on its own. You don't need to add much. You could add fresh herbs if you'd like, but really the seasoning packet's there. Put the lid on it, set it and forget it. Come back after baseball, after skiing, after soccer, whatever you're doing.
And that's a meal you can keep all week too.
Absolutely, and we're gonna have some ideas about how you can reuse that as well for later this week.
Oh, that sounds so fabulous. And I know spring is right around the corner, but it's been so cold that I love those hearty root vegetables. I love the stew. I'm still, all about the comfort food.
Yeah, even when the warm weather's coming, I think that we're so busy. If we can put something on the stove to simmer slowly while we're working in the yard or in the crock pot for the day where we're off at school, work, everything, it's just easy.
All right, so where you can find all these recipes, it's wabeef.org.
Wabeef.org, head to our recipes section, Cooking on Air. We'll have pictures of all of this.
All of this, and I will go back to eating.